How do people get discovered in places where homosexuality is illegal? People rat on them. Mostly it's through other people reporting. People who report suspicious activities, and maybe the authorities follow the person in question, or if they think somebody's hooking up, they report it. It can also happen that somebody who gets hooked up with will get pinched and then squeal on others to make their life better. It wasn't that long ago that this shit was happening in the Western world as well. Alan Turing, the famous Turing test, who was an unsung hero over World War II for his work in cryptography, had to undergo chemical castration in the 1950s because he was found out to have had sex with another man. I think the dude he got along with ratted him out. Nice try, gay police person. In an area where homosexuality is illegal, many people dislike homosexuals and would be glad to report them. If enough people report suspicions, it becomes pretty credible. I have a feeling it was similar to how witches got discovered back in the day. When I was in Singapore, it was widely known that people would pose as gay or lesbian on dating apps like Tinder and pretend to meet up with you, but actually it was a setup. The apps even warned you once you arrived. I just saw the 1961 movie Victim, a story of gay men in London being blackmailed when the buggery laws were still in place. That's one major way people rat them out. You have to find someone to have sex with. Typically you do that in gay bars or known gay cruising areas. Police raid those. They did that in the US too until Stonewall and were raiding cruising spots at least as late enough as the 90s, catching George Michael and Pee Wee Herman wearing yellow on Thursdays. They get caught. Well, there is only a limited times you can have a sleepover with your best friend without the neighborhood old lady noticing. People gossip. Snitches. Mostly they don't. Laws like that are intended for selective enforcement, as a means of intimidating LGBT people more than as a means of mass incarceration of LGBT people. The purpose is to force being LGBT into the closet, not that they won't prosecute if they get accusations from a jilted lover, or an asshole who found out and blew them in, or whatever, but mostly the laws like that are there to make an example of any LGBT person who gets a bit less downtrodden. They would also stake out or raid gay bars, although they'd just as often take their bribes and leave. People talk, man. It's the one certainty in life after death and taxes. It's the same way governments break insurgency groups. Someone reports a person for being suspected of being gay. They then break that person to find out where they go. They then raid those locations and flip people inside and find out what apps or social media groups they use for contacts. They then use those groups to discredit them and capture more people. I knew a gay guy who moved to the Middle East, huge gay scene. The unspoken rule was the authorities could care less. As long as it wasn't in public, you kept the bedroom curtains drawn. He had no shortage of BFS. The only Arabic he knew was "you've got a big one." In the US, vice squads used to go undercover to root out gay bars. I imagine similar things exist in countries where it is still illegal. Here's the story that was going around in Texas in 2003, when Houston police arrested two dudes for having sex in their home, and it went to the Supreme Court and became the Lawrence v. Texas decision. The cop was guy one's ex-lover and was creeping around their house and saw them through the window and arrested them for illegal sodomy. Is that true? I don't know. But my college friend's high school friend's cousin knew them, and that's how I heard about it.